When a bone breaks, we know why the bone breaks. There's an event that literally is the reason why a bone breaks. And very often when we see someone that broke their leg or physically hurt themselves, the common response is, oh my God, are you okay? Or, oh my God, what happened? Right? Because we see someone physically in pain. We see someone that is struggling in the here and now moment with a visual wound. Well, think about that. That's the norm. The empathetic part of us, the compassionate part of us, sees someone in pain and wants to know what were the events that led to that brokenness. Well, we've lost that emotionally a lot of times. We see someone's actions that may be broken, and we automatically judge the action. We don't really ask with a compassionate heart, what were the series of events that led to that brokenness? Because we're just seeing the actions, and we're not understanding, or we're not willing to understand everything that led to executing specific actions. We as actors have an obligation to connect to the pain of what the character is going through. We have an obligation to connect to the brokenness of the character as a means into his or her life, so we don't get stuck in a world of judgment, so we are not blocked from inhabiting that character's world with judgment or resentment or bitterness. We ask ourselves, where did the break happen? How did the break happen? What were the series of events? What were the relationships? What were the circumstances that caused this human being to behave or react the way he or she does? How, with a compassionate heart, am I able to justify whether the actions are right or wrong, why someone does what they do? And how now can I justify how everything that that human being is doing is trying to improve their existence, their life, moment to moment? How did this person formulate the way they go through life, the way they function in their life, based on the relationships that they've experienced and the defense mechanisms that they may have created to get them through? How are they searching for solace based on what they do? There's so much about being human that is so complicated, and we forget that everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. Even the quote-unquote most evil people have a story that created the human being and why the human being does what he or she does. And so, rather than look at things with face value, rather than looking at things with just the action in the spotlight, we have to look at the why. And a lot of that why we've never tasted, thankfully. So what do? What do we do when we have circumstances that seem so far out of reach from who we are, or circumstances that feel so despicable, or so manipulative, or so evil? What is the key that opens the door to the world that we are voluntarily living? What do we have? We have to use our imagination, because what else is going to get you there if you don't have the experience for you to understand why someone does what they do, or why someone behaves the way they behave, or why someone relates to someone else the way they do. And when you realize that you've been gifted with something that opens the door to infinite possibilities, you realize that everything and anything is capable of living within you. Think about that. Think about that. The power of your imagination makes it possible for you to live everything and anything in your work, if you're willing to exercise your imagination to go to uncharted territories. So at the end of the day, the answer is you. The answer is you. The infinite possibilities of connecting to character in order to truthfully live it and inhabit it lives within you. You just have to be willing to take the journey to explore the full arc of the circumstances, and then question the circumstances that are written and ask yourself, how did I get there? What can I imagine in my world that justifies how I got there? What relationships influenced me to the point that I got to where I am? What circumstances happened to me that inform me of why I do what I do, or why I live my life the way I live my life? So just like someone that has a broken bone, a broken leg, something happened to them to break the leg. Something happens to all of us that is responsible for, quote unquote, our brokenness, if we're going to give it a term, right? If we're going to give it a term, our brokenness in context of the metaphor. The magic does not happen in approaching it as homework. The magic happens in approaching it in the fun, in the childlike nature of exploring a world that is not your civilian everyday life. As actors, we always have to have the responsibility and sophistication as quote-unquote adults. But we have to have the magic of play as a child. And here's the powerful thing. An adult will never be in a child, but a child will always be in every adult. The imagination is the thing that keeps you in the world to go after what you want, to relate to the relationships, to fire you up to overcome obstacles, to propel you to go after needs, to stimulate you to live moment to moment and instinctually. If you haven't tasted it yet, your imagination is there saying, hey, I can do it. Just give me a chance. Let's hold hands and play together, and I'll take you somewhere. And then you trust it. And you go deeper, and then you let it go, and it's there because you went there. You saw it, you tasted it, you felt it, you felt it. And then you come do the work and you trust it. Because it's there in you. Everything and anything is in you.